Guys, it's Average Cracker, and today I just have a quick FYI if this happens to you. It does suck. Okay, that was completely my fault because the irony of it is we had tons of arrows pointed towards us. So that's why that happened. But if you do happen to bottom out, I noticed something on this car as we were driving away. I'll try to see if I can fit somehow the video section where maybe you can hear the noise that I'm talking about. But there was this odd noise coming from underneath the car, right around here on the transmission, almost like something was grinding. And I could not figure it out for the life of me. Until I lifted up the car. Something tells me probably the clutch isn't aligned correctly in here anymore because the grinding noise was almost like the clutch was spinning and rubbing up against something, or it just wasn't aligned correctly. So the only way I can figure out to get it to stop making the noise after I bottomed out and actually was driving home was to put it into reverse or press down on the clutch, and it would kind of silence it, but putting it into reverse completely made the grinding noise go away. But I had to go forward to get home. So I had this annoying rattling, scraping sound of metal, and I was like, maybe something's just dragging. There was no leaks, and right after I bottomed out, I checked underneath the car for leaks. Nothing. When I got home, nothing. So, I mean, there's not a lot under here that can go bad. Maybe this plastic here could hang off if you scrape this the wrong way. Maybe pull out these little push pins and these screws. But what I figured out was that this piece right here, all this was kind of just caved inwards, and I figured, okay, that's got to be the area where the noise is coming from. And oddly enough, this is most likely where that noise was coming from, even though it sounded like it was coming from over here, because the car drove perfectly fine, no check engine lights, nothing like that. But I did notice that on the side of the car here we have a scrape mark here, which lines up with pretty much this whole area. And then right under here, it looks like it scraped all this. Right here at this point was incaved inwards here. And it was pretty much rubbing up against this. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, you should be able to see that little mark from this little wannabe bolt here. And yeah, it was a mess. So I'm figuring the vibrations from the exhaust and the car itself was making this thing vibrate. That noise. It was like that, but continuous, constant. The way that I figured out how to fix it was, if this ever happens to you guys, maybe this could be the culprit of the noise, is unbolt this whole brace here, take it out, make sure you adjust it back to the way it was, rebolt it, and hopefully that noise doesn't happen constantly when you drive. So yeah, hopefully that helps you guys if you find out after bottoming out that there's some odd noise coming from the car and you can't figure out where it's from, or you don't have access to a lift like this. That can most likely be it, so just check underneath the car. One thing that has left me kind of concerned after bottoming out, which doesn't make sense to me how it affected the wheels, was that this rear wheel, well, the e-brake's on right now, but when you spin it, it sounds like it's really rough. And when I engage the brakes, it's almost like it's grabbing too tough. And supposedly online, there's some adjusters on the back end of this brake caliper thing, but I can't figure out where it is. And there's no details on it really. Somebody kind of said, hey, there's a bolt underneath there that you can adjust your brakes with. And I checked Google Images and nothing, so kind of having troubles figuring out where it's at. But the biggest issue I'm having right now is there's this annoying squeaking coming from this wheel. And if you notice, it shouldn't happen on this one. If I push up on it, I don't know if you can hear that. I guess this wheel does it too. It's gonna drive me crazy figuring that out. But this wheel right here this odd squeaky sound. If it's making that little squeaky noise, no help to you right now, because I need to actually figure out for myself what that is. And there's nothing online. Like, there's no way to search this sort of noise up. So it's like a weird squeaking sound. And initially I thought maybe the brakes are just squeaky. It must be something that's just like rubbing up against itself somewhere here. Maybe it's just the brake pads themselves. I don't know. But it's driving me crazy. It's really not a big deal for most people, but if you were to hear, you'd probably be like, I don't really notice it much, but it does drive me crazy. Every time I get out of the car, it's like, it's terrible. Anyways, I'm gonna figure out what that is. Hopefully do an update. So yeah, just an FYI for you guys, if you bottom out the MX-5, it might make a weird noise. This might be the culprit. So, thanks for watching. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.